what's happening? I'm your host, Brianna Gustafson, and today I'm here with DeWitt Davenport, who is the CEO of the Davenport Companies and founder of Seaside LeMans, Beth Petoskey, who is the event director of Seaside LeMans and the marketing and special projects coordinator of Davenport Companies, Mike Belcher, who is a sponsor and a driver from Comcast Business, and John Curley, who is a former driver and sponsor from Curley Direct. Today, we're talking about the 2015 Seaside LeMans at Mashpee Commons on September 12th. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us. Great to be here.
Could you tell me a little bit about the day as a whole? Give me like a little bit of a walkthrough of the race itself.
Well, it's an exciting day. As you mentioned, it's our 15th year, and we're holding the Seaside LeMans, the race for the Cape Cod community, over at Mashpee Commons. And what we do is we actually race Formula One race carts through the streets of Mashpee Commons and around the parking lot. It's about a quarter-of-a-mile track, and we have a bridge which allows pedestrians to walk over the bridge while racers are going underneath, and that allows people to access the infield, which is where we have all sorts of tents. We have all of the teams and the sponsors there, kids' activities, food and beverage, music, all sorts of things. So the day starts off with building the track in the morning, very early in the morning, about 5 a.m. And then once we complete the track, we have some warm-up laps. We actually have a separate race for 45 minutes for Cape Cod Healthcare, and they race one department against another. Then we have the opening ceremonies, and this year we are excited to have Congressman Bill Keating as our Grand Marshal. And we also have a flyover, we have an honor guard, we have some live singing, and that'll all take place to kick off the race. And then the race is an endurance race from noon until 4 p.m.
Wow.
And at the end of the race, we have the award ceremony, and that's where the trophies are awarded, and most importantly, the checks to the beneficiaries who are benefiting from the funds raised at this race.
Wow, that's excellent. So who are the drivers? Are they different local companies competing against each other, or are there teams? How does that work?
Yes, they are. You could be from a company or an individual. Anyone who makes a donation is able to race in the race. The driving donations range from $1,700 to $10,000 and even up from there. And each team is 6 drivers in one race cart. And they take turns throughout the 4-hour endurance race through a driver change system. And they also refuel once during the race. So it could be the bank teller that you've just seen at the bank. It could be someone who is repairing, the electricity or plumbing in your home. It could be anyone from the community that would be racing there, and they're all doing it to donate and raise funds for our community.
Wow, that's excellent. So with a 4-hour race, you must have like a pit stop or something like that, right, to refuel?
Yes, each driver drives from 8 to 12 minutes each, and then they switch to the other driver, and then one time during the race they need to refuel.
Wow, that's really cool. Could you talk to me a little bit about the concept of the race, the sponsors, the beneficiaries this year?
Go ahead.
Okay. So as far as the beneficiaries, every year we choose 4 or 5 new beneficiaries, and the underlying current is they are all organizations that help our neighbors here on the Cape. All the funds raised stay here on the Cape. So this year we have 5 different beneficiaries, and each one has a particular focus for the funds raised. So at Cape Cod Healthcare is one of the beneficiaries, and they are focusing on their Heart and Vascular Institute. We also have Calmer Choice, which brings mindfulness and meditation programs into the schools for children. And we have Caitlin's Closet, which provides wonderful basic essentials, clothing and things for children and students in this area. We also are working with Independence House to help promote safe and healthy relationships and prevent domestic violence. And we're also this year for the first time working with Cape Cod Maritime Museum, who has a great STEM and STEAM program that they offer throughout the schools.
Excellent. So it seems like the charities have a good, clear focus of what they want to come out of this. That's excellent. Can you talk to me about the concept behind this race? Like, how did it come about? A lot of fundraisers are golf tournaments, and you don't normally hear about a go-kart race for a fundraiser.
That's absolutely correct. Back in 2000, our company had the opportunity to go to F1 right after they had opened as a team building event. And we took a bus up to the event. In most situations, when you go to an event and everyone gets in the bus and drives back to the Cape, everyone tries to fall asleep. It's a long day, and And everyone was talking about their childhood, what it meant to race, the teamwork. It was a wonderful dialogue amongst folks, and I just had a really positive feeling that all of us have some attachment to being a kid when we get a little older. And this was something that really drew that fun side of you out. And at the same time, we were looking to put together an event to use our capital and our management and hopefully raise money for the community, because it's incumbent upon us to work together to make Cape Cod a better place to live, work, and play. So we said, let's put on a race. Let's do it outdoors. Let's see if we can do it on the main street of Hyannis. And we went about the process, and on September 15th, 2001 was the first race. And you may recall on September 11th, 2001, our country was attacked. We had to make a decision at that point in time whether to go forward with the race. And just to go through the process, I think all of us were absolutely in a total state of shock on Tuesday, the 11th. What happened, why, trying to figure it out, trying to put some rationale to it. The media obviously captured every minute of the news relative to that, or those events of Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Major League Baseball shut down as the country just started to come to a standstill. We get to Thursday, and the President of the United States declared Friday as the day of national mourning. Well, on Thursday, we were ready to go on the talk show circuit, as I refer to it, with the radio stations to promote the race. They kept calling, "Are you going to run the race?" And we were extremely concerned, because it could look like people having fun when the rest of the country hasn't even buried some of the folks that expired because of the events. But the media and the sponsors pushed us. You've got to do it. You've got to do it. We've got to get back to normalcy. We've got to be united around something. We made the decision to run the race that Saturday. And we started off with the national anthem, as you start off many sporting events. There was not a dry eye in the entire population. People showed up in red, white, and blue. And it exploded, literally. We had about 10,000 people show up, way beyond what we had ever considered. And it was such a success that everyone said, this is the first annual, isn't it? So the answer is, it was the first annual, and because of the ramp up that has started back in 2001, we've raised over $5 million for our community.
Wow. What an awesome kickstart. It's such a wonderful event.
It is all for the wrong reasons, but the gentleman said, this is all about unity for the community, and it really was, and it is today, and that's what it stands for.
15 years later.
15 years later.
Excellent.
But if it wasn't for folks like the two gentlemen to my left, it would never happen. It's not about us. It's about the sponsors, the drivers, the volunteers, the people that really come together to make it really special.
Absolutely. John and Mike, would you mind telling me a little bit about the day as a driver? I know you said your fourth year being a driver, and John, you were a former driver, so you both have different experiences as a driver. Have you been on a team together?
We have not.
No, not yet.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, if you want to go first, Mike. And then
Sure, absolutely.
Sure.
I mean, the build up to the event is always one of the most interesting parts. Everyone's so excited. You get there the morning of the race, and we walk the track as a team. You know, it's been the same relatively for the past 4 years. There's been a couple minor changes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Little changes. But we walk the track. We sit as a team and discuss what we're going to do. We've had some driver changes for the Comcast team over the past 5 years that we've been involved in the event. So we always have new drivers coming in, and some of the veterans will discuss some of the key points of each turn, and where you brake and where you hit the gas, and you know how the driver changes work and everything. So we go through a lot of that, and just get geared up for the race. You get your suit on and your helmet and everything, and just mainly get in race mode. It's kind of get the anxiety of being in the car, and you know, you think it's a kids event, you're in go-karts, but when you're in a go-kart that goes 40 miles an hour for 4 hours, there's a certain level of adrenaline that's attached to it as well. So the build-up waiting for that to happen is always one of the most fun parts, I think, especially for the first-time drivers who are anticipating what it's going to be like, especially when we get into the media races and the hospital race beforehand. You're watching some of these cars go by as you're sitting in your little crew tents that we have along the straightaway, and you really experience how fast these cars are going, and you see the smiles on the people's faces as they drive by, and you know that that's going to be you in a short amount of time. So it's absolutely a great thing to experience.
Sounds like a ton of fun.
It's such an exciting time between the drivers. I know my staff, you know, virtually all of them, you know, come up for the race. They bring grandchildren, their kids. There's so much to do there, and but you know, the start of the morning we usually get together at the office, get some coffee, and go over some strategy. Get up to the race course and get acclimated and get the suits and all that. As Mike said, you know, walk the track a little bit. You know, try to get some of the butterflies out, and it just you know, there's a competitive spirit, but we all have to remember that it's for charity. So reeling the lads in sometimes, you know, can be interesting, but it really is. You know, DeWitt and Beth, they do such an incredible job, and we really feel privileged to be a part of it.
Awesome. And how many people are you expecting this year, spectators?
We usually have between 10 and 15,000
Wow.
throughout the course of the day. You know, of course, it's free admission to come and watch. So you can watch from outside the track, or you can go over the bridge and watch from the infield. And in addition to the kids' activities and music and stopping by the tents to see the drivers, there's all of the shops and restaurants at Mashpee Commons, which are great, and they have some new ones every year. This year we also have the debut of the Bloodmobile from Cape Cod Healthcare, their blood center. It's the first time it's going to be open for business to collect pints of blood, so we encourage everyone to come and take part in that. You'll actually walk over the bridge into the infield to do that, because we'll have the Bloodmobile parked on the infield of the track. So we're excited to have them come this year for the first time.
Excellent. It sounds like a really fun day for kids, families, drivers. You made that seem like it's the best part. And the beneficiaries really benefit from this event. So I want to thank you all for being here today, and I hope your event is so much fun and successful, as I know it will be. Thank you for watching What's Happening. I'm Brianna Gustafson.
When I think about the Seaside LeMans, I think about our community coming together.
It's a great day for Cape Cod, and it's a great day for family, friends, and community.
It's a terrific event. It motivates, it inspires.
Thrilling, exciting,
community,
team spirit,
Fun,
speed,
family-oriented,
inspiration,
unique,
cooperative spirit,
incredible, so much fun.
Competition.
competition,
competition.
Start your engines.
I'm Beth Patkowski, and I'm the event director for the Seaside LeMans. This is the one big fundraiser for the Davenport companies each year, and it gives us a chance to have all of our colleagues and co-workers involved in creating the race, volunteering, and using all of our resources to create an event that encourages other companies to become part of the community of philanthropists and fundraisers that everyone on the Cape seems to be.
I think a big part of that is really the privilege of paying back the community that supported us in the first place.
We really look forward to it because we give back to the community, but we have a lot of fun doing it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. Without your help, between the sponsors, the drivers, the volunteers, the folks at Mashpee Common who give us this venue, and those here who are to support the causes that are going to receive $530,000 in proceeds as a result of your efforts, thank you very much.
We love this race. A lot of fun. It's good. We're here for charity, but we're here to win.
Yeah, ready to go.
Ready to rock.
It's a very good cause. Everyone out here is having fun.
The race started in 2001, and each year it's grown in funding and in size and participation by everyone.
You're able to give back. It's a great feeling, you know, and I'm very proud to be a part of that.
There are a lot of nonprofits that have some really great programs that they want to put out there. And if they did not have the funding that is provided by the Seaside LeMans, they would not be able to put those really important programs.
It's really given opportunity to agencies like Children's Cove to continue our work. We specifically utilize some of that funding for our awareness campaign. We can only do that with fundraisers like Seaside LeMans.
I wish we could say that services are being less and less needed, but unfortunately, services are getting to be more and more needed. There are still things that we need to do and do differently or do better or do more of that are really working well for Cape Cod. So for us, we've been able to leverage every dollar multiple times.
On Friday evening, preceding the race, we have the sponsors, drivers, and the beneficiaries get together. Bringing folks together to educate them the night before is very meaningful for everybody. And most importantly, a lot of the sponsors now start to get a flavor for the race.
So it's a great thing on a whole bunch of different levels. And people, when they get out of these go-karts, the adrenaline is flowing, and they're excited. They're just having a great time.
It's an intense, fast physical activity, and there's a big rush in being out there.
It shows people that you can have a lot of fun while raising money. It shows how important philanthropy is in any community, and specifically here on Cape Cod. Once people get involved and they see what a difference it makes to all of the organizations, they decide to come back year after year, and they know that it does make a difference.
It's a lot of fun and collaboration, and it builds teamwork while you give back. What more could you ask for?
I recall a phone call that I received, and he said, we had our inside folks work with our outside team, and it is the best dollars I've ever spent. I've had consultants come in here, but to get them to work together, to get them to strategize, to get them to enjoy each other's company and learn a little bit about each other, it was a home run.
It's competition, but it's also contribution.
Working hard toward making the Cape a better place by driving a cart, it doesn't get any better.
They race in carts, they spend the whole day there, families come out, it's a very family-oriented event.
It's extremely professional, it's well thought through, it's all of us working together.
I think Seaside LeMans really is emblematic of Cape Cod in general. A wonderful community, wonderful spirit coming together, benefiting local people, benefiting organizations. I think that's what Seaside LeMans means to us the most. It's Cape Codders taking care of Cape Codders.
Whether you're competing for the first time or those that have done it for a long time, the camaraderie that is generated cannot be matched in dollars. It's intangible.
I would highly recommend any business on the Cape that's considering doing it to go ahead and do so. It has been a huge, huge win for us.